Code is one of the main villains in the Boruto story right now, and while he has made some important moves in the plot, I do gotta say, Code is kind of lame. I've been holding out to say this for a while, but ever since Code became an important character, starting from chapter 55, 25 chapters have passed, literally 2 years worth of Boruto content has been released, and I'm not really that impressed with this character. Code was introduced into the manga with the rest of the Kara organization back in chapter 16, but he was not relevant in the story for a couple of years. Since then, with the introduction of Kawaki and Jigen making moves to retrieve his vessel, out of all of the Kara members, Code still remained a mystery in the story by the time Isshiki was killed off by Kawaki. That being said, many fans, including myself, were excited to see what Code was going to do since we didn't know anything about his character at the time. All of the previous Kara members came and went, so once Isshiki was killed, fans were looking forward to seeing what Code could do. We soon find out that Code was a reject vessel of Isshiki and had a white karma seal. He was one of the kids being tested for Ishiki's karma seal, and unlike the kids who had died in the experiments, Code miraculously survived. He was embedded with the white karma, and after hearing that Isshiki was killed off, Isshiki gave Code the go-ahead to become an Otsutsuki. Like with the relationship between Kawaki and Naruto, where Kawaki grew an obsession to protect his father figure, Code was also obsessed with Isshiki to the point where once Isshiki told Code that he was killed off, Code wanted to take revenge almost immediately. After hearing the names of the people who helped kill Isshiki and the goal to harvest a chakra fruit, Code finally was making a move in the story. As someone who was reading the Boruto chapters monthly as they were coming out, my expectation of Code was pretty damn high since he was going to become the driving force of the storyline, since everyone in the plot was describing him as this monster who is stronger than Jigen, and we know what Jigen did to both Naruto and Sasuke. That being said, Code still needed help to get his limiters removed to gain his full power and continue his plan, so he has Eida and Daemon join his team. Instantly, this was already a big risk in his plan as the two cyborg siblings were stronger than Code, and the only reason why they agreed to work together is because their goals aligned with each other. From there, Code spins the block on a leaf village to get back on Isshiki, and there he fights Boruto and Kawaki. He beats the Karma brothers up with ease, and while fighting Boruto, Code says he wants to test the quality of the sacrifice since he was going to feed Boruto to the Ten Tails. So instead of ending the fight quickly, Code inadvertently teaches Boruto how to use the karma seal properly, and this was Code's first mistake. His arrogance, thinking that he could just deal with Boruto. Even with Boruto tapping into 1,000 years worth of combat experience would be easy, he struggles to take him down, and at one point, Boruto was almost able to take down Code with a vanishing Rasengan. Eida tells Code to stop fooling around and finish the job, but it's already too late. Momoshiki is here, and Code gets absolutely destroyed by him, with taijutsu and ninjutsu, with Momo even calling him worthless Kara dregs. And this is where I feel like Code becomes an afterthought, which is sad to say considering that this is the Code arc. This is supposed to be an arc where Code is the main villain running shit up, but instead here he is on the sideline allowing Momoshiki to run the show. This right here is what separates Momo and Code, as once Momo appears, he creates a massive destruction on the battlefield, making you feel his power, beats the hell out of Code, and almost kills Naruto all in one chapter. And this is what I like to call having aura. Unlike with Code, we have seen characters wreak havoc, create chaos, and emotionally break characters in the Boruto story so far. Momoshiki, when he first appeared in the story, captured Naruto, beat the dog shit out of the 5 Kage, and even post-death has managed to create mass destruction through Boruto's body. Isshiki was able to emotionally and physically scar Kawaki for life, robbing his ability to love and feel wanted, while on top of destroying the 2 strongest shinobi in the world, not once but twice. Even Deepa, an anime original character in the Boruto anime, or some of you may call him a filler character, was able to strike fear in the main characters in the Kara activation arc. Deepa pretending to be hurt by Boruto's Rasengan and then flicking him away like a fly was Oscar worthy, man. He beat up Team 7 so badly that he almost put Boruto and Sarada into retirement. He had them contemplating if they were even deserving of being a shinobi. And coming from those 3 villains to Code, it just feels like a downgrade. While I do understand that Code was not at full power since he has his limiters on, it's still sad to see that he takes so many L's in his own arc, from almost losing to Boruto, getting obliterated by Momoshiki, beat up by Kawaki, and then seeing your vessel get killed in front of you. The story kind of makes it impossible for me to root for Code, knowing that he was this weak and allowed all this stuff to happen to him. With him saying that he needs to get his limiters removed, it just gives off wait until the Boruto time skip comes type of energy. energy. Even though this arc is called the Code Assault arc, honestly we should rename it to the Assault on Code arc, since Code was getting violated most of the time. And as I was reading the chapters, I basically gave up on Code until he got his limiters removed. However, the one positive note I do gotta say about Code is that he does have one of the coolest designs in Boruto, and once he got his limiters removed, his new form looked pretty damn cool. But that's where it ends. Constantly, Code has to remind people around him that he needs to remove his limiters since he was not at full power. And once he was able to do that, my thoughts were, okay, he wasn't gonna take any more L's and he was gonna turn up in the story, right? Oh, never mind. And it's not like Code is weak, as I believe at his current power, he could potentially beat Boruto and Kawaki in a one-on-one. But it's just that every time he tries to do something significant in the story, he fails over and over and over again, which makes it hard to like the dude. There's plenty of things that can make a great villain in a story, such as their motivation, depth, and their ability to have a presence. And while Code has these boxes checked off, it just does not feel fulfilling like the other Boruto villains in the past. Code's entire identity is about his obsession over Isshiki and his jealousy of Kawaki, and while the story tries to draw a parallel with Code's obsession to Isshiki with Kawaki's obsession to Naruto, it isn't apparent why Code feels that way in the story. We have seen how Kawaki became obsessed over Naruto and how that has affected Kawaki moving on, but we just haven't seen that with Code. We still don't understand why and how Code is obsessed with Isshiki to begin with, which may be shown later on in the story. And I think what makes this even worse is that with the omnipotence happening in chapter 79, Boruto and Kawaki's roles were reversed, making Code's hatred for Kawaki be flipped toward Boruto. And compared to Boruto and Kawaki, who have done plenty in the storyline, it just makes Code feel like a complete afterthought in the plot right now. He does have a 10 Tails army with him, and while it is posing him as a threat, which I doubt Boruto and Sasuke can defeat alone, I'm gonna be real, man, I just don't care about Code anymore. I don't think he's a bad character, but I also don't think he's great either. But this could be an advantage for Code in the story, as there is a reason why he's still alive in the plot. And I do want to apologize to all my Dragon Ball fans in advance before I say this, but Code kind of reminds me of Cell. If you have watched Dragon Ball Z, Cell is regarded as one of the best villains in the series, if not the best. And the comparison I'm trying to draw here is that prior to Cell going into his perfect state, he was extremely desperate to get to his final form, and during the Android saga, he was willing to hold off from trying to absorb 17 and 18 right away until he got stronger, since he knew he couldn't take them on in a fight in his first form. Throughout that entire saga, Cell was disregarded for the most part, and the Z fighters didn't care about him much until Cell got into his stronger states. Similar to Code, who despite building a 10 Tails army, doesn't want to attack the Leaf Village, since Eida and Daemon are there, and he knows he won't be able to defeat them. Just like with Cell, Code is playing the long game in order to achieve his goals of becoming an Otsutsuki. However, we just don't know how that will end. Kishimoto could completely drop the ball with this character, or he could pull the greatest 180 I've ever seen in the Naruto franchise. And while I don't think Code is that good of a character, I hope I'm proven wrong, because I just want to see a great villain in the story. But for now, I ain't gonna hold you, Code is on Fraud Watch. Hopefully this video ages like milk, because this hasn't been the first time I've talked about Code like this in the past. I've already made a couple videos talking about Code and how I felt about his character. I think that he could make an extremely crazy comeback. I think it's possible, but right now, it's the Boruto and Kawaki show. It's been like that for the past 20 chapters, and despite Code trying to do some significant things in the plot, he has failed so many times that it's kind of hard to root for the dude. But that's all I gotta say, man. I do want to say the videos are gonna be coming out on a frequent basis now that it's summertime. Let me know how you guys feel about Code right now, because I know people are gonna get mad at me, but I gotta say what's on my mind. I can't bullshit you guys. I gotta be honest. So let me know how you guys feel about this video in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.